Welcome back to my channel. Last week was Mother's Day, but I was unable to go visit my mom. But this week, I got an opportunity to go see her, and she's going to tell us how it was raising a family during her days. My mom is Teresia Wawere, and she's here with us. Welcome, Mom.
Thank you,
Asante
Charity.
sana for joining us. I just wanted to find out, you're watching us raising our children. How different was it for you raising your children from the time we were small to the time now that we are big girls and boys?
Thank you, Charity, for inviting me to your channel. I'm a mother of 6 biological children and many more, over 100 children in our children's home, because we run a children's home. And when I was bringing up my children, I got my firstborn when I was 23. And I left my firstborn last 2 months. And so I was working. And my job demanded a lot because I was working the front office. And so I was going back to Eastlands of Nairobi at 12:30 to go and breastfeed because the baby was still very young, and my boss had given me about 2 months to be going back to the house to breastfeed and come back at 2. It was not very easy because during that time I was a young girl. I was on my high heels, and I have to walk all the way from the road to the house, breastfeed, and then run to the bus stop, catch up with the matatu, and then go back to the office. 4:45, I'm on my heels, running back to the house. During the lunch hour, that is the time I used to wash my baby, to breastfeed and to wash my baby. And then after that, I go back to work. In the evening, I'm back in the house to breastfeed and to feed. And it was not very easy. But as I continued to bring up, it continued to become easy because I was starting. And now I got my second born after 1 year, 9 months. And the second born was a boy. And boys are demanding. They, especially in breastfeeding, they need a lot of attention. They need to be breastfed many times because they never used to get satisfied easily. And I let my second born in 2 months' time. He was 2 months. The first 1 month and 2 weeks was breastfeeding. The third week and the fourth week is introducing the baby to feeding, like fruits, porridge, because I must prepare the baby because I'm going back to work.
Did you find it difficult? Because nowadays we are seeing people suffering postpartum depression, and it feels as though our generation is really soft at bearing too much. You guys used to leave your babies quite early. You used to shoulder a lot more responsibilities. What can you say to the generation of the women who are bringing up children right now?
I would say that they need to balance the things, because if you focus on your career, you leave out the parenting part and leave alone parenting, taking care of your husband. And that is why the present generation, they are feeling as if their husbands are demanding so much. Because when you are bringing up our children, you are taking care of the children. I had a job to keep, and I had a husband to take care of. So these 3 responsibilities I had to balance, because I have this man, he loved me, and I want to show him the same love. I have children, I treasure them, and I have to show them that I care and I love them, and I want them to grow in the way of God, because this is the time I was laying the foundation. I have the job which was providing for the family. So I had to balance. If I'm required at the place of work at this time, I have to be there. If I'm required back to the house, I have to be there. And if my husband needed me to accompany him to somewhere, I have to be there. So there was a lot of balancing during our time. Your time, you are picking one thing, you run with it. And the present generation, they don't want to multitask. They want to, if you take a baby, you want to learn with a baby, just forget about any other responsibility. And that is the wrong thing. That's why many marriages are suffering, because you don't want to multitask. So I would say that it's good for a mother. How we were created by God. We can do 3 things at the same time because we are women. Men, I think men focus on one thing, they finish and they do the next. But we women, we are multitask workers. Yeah.
And right now you're taking care of children at your children's home. How long after raising your children did you now start taking care of other children? And what made you want to pursue this call, having raised 6 of your own?
I was working with a big insurance company, and I had worked there since I was 19 years. And after working there for 19 years, 3 years down the line, I got married. And I worked for the company for 17 good years. And at one point, they decided to close down the company, and it was a government company. We demonstrated, we were not paid. And my husband was a commission agent with the same company. And we had a mortgage. By then I had my 5 children. And I was feeling, the firstborn was in standard 8, preparing to go to high school. I was feeling as if it is the end of the world. And we demonstrated for 8 weeks. And I thought, this is the end of the world. After 8 weeks, I told God, these are my hearts. They are small. If only you can give me something to do with my hearts. I promised God that I will touch a life. And this time, I woke up one morning and I felt in my heart I want to do meat business, which I didn't have any skills. I never knew anything about meat. But I decided that this is what God has put in my heart. So I went to the slaughterhouse. I bought 10 kilos of goat meat and I packed 1 kilo, 1.5 and 2 kilos. And I hawked house to house. I hawked in Buruburu, I hawked in Harambe, Jericho, I hawked house to house. And the first day I made a profit of 500 shillings. And starting from 4,000, 1 year down the line, I had made over 300,000. And that is the point where I told God, God, you have blessed me, and I promise that I will touch a life. Now, it's 1 year down the line, I have made more than 300,000. And I continued working extra hard, venturing into pork, into beef, venturing to chicken, tripe, and whatever is eatable. And I thank God that 2.5 years we were able to go to the dealers and we bought a new pickup. And that is when I realized that God had purposed us to do this business, and God has honored my covenant that I will touch a life. And we started by touching the lives of women, mentoring them into business, and encouraging women to do business, and empowering them with a little amount of money to start small business. From there, I thought, let me go and empower the young boys and girls, young adults from our church. We gave them training, meat business training. We employed them at the butchery, and they were helping us in supplies. And from there, we thought, why don't we go to the streets and see what the children are doing there alone? And I went there the first day. I bought milk and bread for them, and we talked and we became good friends. I started in Harabe Avenue because that is where I used to work. And I found that those children needed a lot of love. So every time I was cooking my ugari, matumbo, and vegetables, and sharing with them the love of God, praying with them, encouraging them, I decided to share it with my husband, and we discussed about it. And I requested him whether we can we can start a home. Instead of giving them a meal, we start giving them a future, a shoulder to cry on, and we parent them and we give them education and a home. And my husband was very positive about it because he knows my heart. When I desire to do something, I desire to do it wholeheartedly. And 30th of August to the year 2002, we started the home with 38 children. The 38 children were from 2 years to bigger children. Some of them were school going age, others were secondary school, others were vocational training. So we started rehabilitating them, sharing with them the love of God, sharing with them that they can make it, they can change. And 3 months down the line, the government announced free education in the year 2003. In January, we took them to a public school. There are those who needed to go to high school. We took them to high school. There are those who needed to go for vocational training. We took them for vocational training. And we had a number of them who needed jobs. And we tried and we got jobs for them at a meat processing plant. And we thank God that all those people are stable today. And after that, I found that the work I'm doing is better because it was about it was about humanity. And I continued with the business and we continued with the children's home. And to me, I feel it's so fulfilling to touch a life. We started with that age. We are almost 18 years old now. And we have 133 children. And parenting these children is like a flower garden, whereby you touch this flower, it smells well good. You touch another one, you can't differentiate which smells better than the other, because it's just like a normal family, whereby you can get a notorious boy, and you can get a very good boy. And the best thing I find in these children is how I balance and how we balance that even this one who is not very good, you can be able to accommodate, because the grace of God has been very sufficient. So we have now the boys and the girls. We have over 100 children who have exited from the home and they are working. We have over 20 graduates from the universities and others from colleges. And most of them working, some are working for the government, others are working for bigger institutions, and some others are working for supermarkets. And it's so fulfilling to touch a life and to change a life. And parenting it has been a good comfort to my life. And another thing that is that my husband accepted that we parent these children together. So these children grew without a father, they grew without a mother. Today they have a mother and they have a father. They wake up, they see us every day. Father is there and mother is there. So whenever you say come, they come and ask, Mother, what can we do? What do you want us to do? And they are always willing to do what we tell them. I thank God because every child must have a parent. Every child must have a parent, because parents will make this child differentiate between good and between bad, with love and with listening, with correcting and not sparing the rod. What I will encourage them, let them put God first, because what has worked for us is faith. Faith has really worked for us, because when I was working, I used to leave the office at 1:45, and I was learning to Gara to buy materials. I cut materials, I go to the offices and I sell, and I wait until the end of the month to be paid. So you must think very hard, and you give your plans to God and you tell God, this is what I want to do, please bless it for me. And sure enough, if you are aggressive enough, you are prayerful and you have faith in God, I promise you that you will succeed. because you see, I started a business that I didn't know. I started selling meat, hawking literally house to house, as little as from down there, carrying meat on my back with a chondo. And I supplied even in bigger institutions, not because of the ability that I have, but I had faith in God, and I have an ear to listen. When I pray, I listen. I ask you, God, is that the way you want me to go? And God direct me which way to go. And immediately I know this is the will of God for me to do this, I go. Another thing, the present generation, this is a problem. You complain a lot that the input of my husband is not enough, the input of my wife is not enough. But that is not what God wants. The Bible says that where there is unity, God commands a blessing. If you are the person who has been given ability to feed the family without complaining. Work extra hard to meet the needs of the family. Whatever your response you bring, receive it with gratitude. Don't complain. And by doing that, God will command a blessing. And He will increase. Whatever little you have, God will increase. And wherever you will go, you'll meet an open door. Whatever you decide to do, the favor of God will go with you, because He knows that He has given you a responsibility.
At the children home, do you face challenges, and what requests would you have for people who are out there and the reason why you have children, you have a job, is because some people are failing in their parenting? What can you say to them, and also share with us the challenges that you're going through?
Children, they like living where there is peace. So we have experience of children who are running away from their homes because the mother comes to during the night drunk, the father is drunk, and they fight a lot. Others, they come home, there's no food, and there's a lot of beating. Others, they come home, the mother is not there, the father is not there, and there's no food. So the environment is not cohesive for the children to live there. So some of them, they decide to go to the streets. Others decide to go and look for jobs. Others decide to go and live wherever they can get cohesiveness. So what I would say is this: parents, make a good landing for the children, so that whenever the children are there, they will know that you're in harmony. I would give a very good example. At one time, we had three children in the university, and they were good high-cost universities. And when they were supposed to pay school fees, we were being called, "Mom, have you paid school fees? Dad, have you paid school fees?" And we were telling them, "Yeah, don't worry. When you are nearing your exam, we will have cleared everything." And this time we don't have anything. But the security, giving children security, telling them that you have everything that they need. Working on that promise you have promised the child. Don't allow your children to know that you are struggling, because they will not see the point why they should continue with education if the parents will not be able to take them further. Don't allow your children to know that there's not enough money to buy their food or to do the things they want to do. Let them know that the family is very stable. Mom and dad are working very hard for everything to work out. And by doing that, that consolation, that comfort, will give children a marriage. In the children's home, we don't have everything that we need, but we give them comfort. We tell them, study. Even if you want to go to the university, we are ready to take you to the university. And this time we are telling them this. We don't have even enough. But we give them motivation so that they can go to the level where God designed them to go. And it has not been very easy. Like now there's a time, like this year, we have 50 children in the in high school. And 50 children, they need shopping, they need food, they need pocket money, we need to go for academic visit, we need to go for visits, and all this is calling for some money. We can't tell them that we will not come to see you because we don't have money. That's not a responsibility of a child. That's a responsibility of a parent. And because we took the responsibility of becoming parents to these children, there's no reason we can give them or we tell them, you should understand that you are many. Children don't understand that language. They understand the language of, I'm going to provide. I am coming. I will come. I will do. That is the only language children can understand. And we appeal to people to understand the challenges children's homes are going through, because we need to feed them. This child needs things as your own child need. Because like now, if your child loves eating chapati, a child in the children's home loves eating chapati. If your children need to eat meat, the children in the house, in the children's home, they need to eat meat. And your children are feeding in fruits. And our children need fruits. And so because we don't have all these resources, we appeal to good people, people of goodwill, to donate in kind or in financial status so that we can be able to bring a meal on the table and to meet the needs of these children. And every desire that I have every day is that I see that if I have a child who needs this and calls me and asks me, Mother, can I get this? Yes, I'll send. That is the greatest answer I have, and that is the greatest consolation I have. When a child is calling me and asking for something and it is within my reach.
Thank you very much, Mom, for sharing. There you have it. That is my mom. I share her with 133 of my other adopted brothers and sisters, and I am glad to share her wisdom with you guys on this post Mother's Day special. Thank you very much for watching and for supporting this channel. Keep subscribing, keep sharing these videos with your family, and God bless you.